when you let off, pull it simultaneously.
Hi guys, today I'm going to do a review / tour on the giant truck you've seen in a lot of my past videos. Basically, it's a giant toolbox on wheels. Alright, so the service truck. I know a lot of you guys have seen it in my past videos and you're like, what is that giant truck that Charlie drives? It is a 2001 Kenworth T300 and it has a Cummins 8.3 liter diesel. Pop the hood on this Mamba Jamba. Oh, it's not as big as I thought it would be.
That's not what she said.
Well, it's only 8.3 liters. Whole set HX40.
I think it's a 60 mil inducer.
Oh, so it's not even that really big of a turbo.
Diesel engines have come like a really long way.
Yeah, this is an old engine. But it's little in terms of semi-trucks. This is like a baby big rig. You don't need a CDL license to drive this, do you?
No, because they paid to have it re-registered at under 26,000 pounds because they weighed it with tools and oil and everything in it, and it weighs like 24 and some change. So they re-registered it so that I don't have to get a CDL to drive it.
We already have one.
I do have one, yeah.
Okay, so to start this off, this is the cab of this baby big rig. It's a Eaton 8-speed manual transmission. There's this tablet lock thing. There's a cell phone holder. There's an old radio. There's a cracked speedometer gauge. There's some super old school vents. Some pretty sweet wood trim. A tube. It's pretty basic. I mean,
yeah.
Thank God I'm tall. What's the deal with the exhaust? Because usually these type of trucks don't have giant stacks on a little baby big rig, right?
Yeah, so there's 6 of these trucks. And this is the smallest one of the whole fleet. And they all look the same. Like the boxes on the back are built the same. They have the same paint job. They're all straight piped with chrome stacks. So when he built this truck, he put the stacks on it so that it matches the rest of the trucks in the fleet.
And because race car?
Yeah, and because it's cool. I mean, you gotta have like, you know, stacks on a semi-truck. It's kind of,
so
it's
yeah,
a prerequisite.
It has stacks. Okay, Charlie, give us a walkthrough of the truck.
This whole side of the truck is the tools that I use the most often. It honestly should be built the opposite way around. Ideally, you want all your tools on the passenger side of the truck, because that way if you're on the side of the highway fixing somebody's broken down truck, you're not standing in traffic to get tools.
Oh, that's dangerous.
This is the way my boss built the truck, so it's how I have to deal with it. So there's like a rechargeable work light, but this is all like blow molded cases for like a slide hammer and a steering wheel puller and a diesel compression tester. And
so these are all like kitted tools then up here basically?
More or less. And there's a Sawzall in here, dial calipers, a lockout kit, because sometimes the guys in the fleets that I maintain, they lock their keys in the truck and I'll go get them out. So, and then there's like hole saws, and then there's a couple different scanners. Like this one's for heavy duty trucks. They have a different plug, it's not OBD2. And then this one's a snap-on scanner for light duty trucks, anything with OBD2.
And this is the side that I'm most familiar with because I use a lot of stuff out of here.
Yeah, this cabinet is the tools that I use pretty much every single time I pull up to a piece of equipment or a truck to fix it. This cabinet's open. Over here I have like hammers, really big crescent wrench, a pair of bolt cutters, pry bar, serpentine belt tool.
That's not a pry bar, that's a Texas toothpick.
I tell you what.
That's my attitude adjuster. And once you get kind of further over this way is a little more diagnostic stuff.
You have a dymo, how is that a diagnostic?
It's not diagnostic. Whenever I do oil changes, I make a label and put a sticker on the piece of equipment.
Oh, that's cute. Do you ever make stickers that say like,
Charlie was here?
Yeah.
No, I don't. These are cool. These are relays that instead of the relay, it just has a switch so that you can just power,
oh, cool.
you can
so
power
you can
a circuit. Yeah, you can power a circuit without having to jump it with a piece of wire all sketchy like.
Oh, that's really cool. That's smart.
A test light, because sometimes it's easier and a lot more simple than a multimeter when you're under a piece of equipment.
Yeah.
When you show up to a job site, 9 times out of 10, there are workers like standing around waiting for me to get it fixed. So time's kind of of the essence. And the big snap-on scanners take a long time. They gotta boot and figure out what the truck is. This, you just plug it in.
They gotta what?
They have to boot. This one, you just plug it in and you can erase the code or read it or whatever you gotta do. Over here, this is all air tools. These are kind of cool. It's a air-powered gasket scraper. 3/4 inch impact, 1/2 inch impact. This is a siphon gun for solvents to like spray it so you don't have to carry around aerosol cans everywhere. This bag is like just junk Harbor Freight wrenches that I've like had to weld together.
Oh my God.
To try to get to like stupid spots. And then I'm a huge fan of Milwaukee's cordless power tools. especially the fuel brushless stuff. So I have a ton of them, like drills, grinders, flashlights, sawzalls. Then I have a bunch of batteries for those. This
Oh,
is,
speaker.
yeah, this is my tunes for when I'm.
Oh, and it's wait, is that powered by the same? That's so cool.
Yeah, it works the same batteries as all my power tools.
Is it Bluetooth?
Yeah, it's Bluetooth.
That's dope.
A 3/8 drive, metric and standard impact socket set, and a 1/4 drive, metric and standard impact socket set.
I didn't know there was a toolbox down here.
Spare parts for
okay.
all the things I have to maintain. So like air fittings, electrical connectors, teeth. That's for like
teeth?
Yeah, like for excavator and backhoe buckets.
Oh,
the teeth that go on the
so
end.
it's not like actual dentures.
No, you name it, it's like in here. And this is all stuff pretty much because I maintain the same fleet, so you know what breaks all the time. So these are the parts that I need to fix.
What breaks the most?
Ford diesels, F450s and F550s.
What engine?
With the 6.7 liter Power Stroke.
Is that the twin turbo diesel or no? No, that was the 6.4, right?
That was the 6.4.
Yeah.
The fleet that I maintain, they got rid of all but one of those. They got rid of them at 60,000 miles because they had so many problems. But the 6.7, I do a ton, and I mean a ton of urea pumps and the controller that goes with them. They go bad. That's what both of these are. These are DEF pumps.
What are the least problematic trucks that you'll work?
They have Ford F750s, which have a Cummins 6.7 in them, and those are great. They have a ton of air leaks though. Like Ford used these really crappy plastic quick connect fittings and they all leak.
So you're a Ford fan, but you said that the Ford diesels are pretty much the worst to have to work on.
Yeah. Like, I'm a Ford fan. I like Mustangs. I think Ford honestly makes the best bodies and chassis. If you look, because I maintain fleet trucks, so I see a ton of them. And Dodges like fall apart around the engine and drivetrain.
But
like,
the engine drivetrain's really good.
Yeah,
though,
it'll
right?
always start. It'll never give you any problems, but the body and everything else will be falling apart. The Fords are rock solid, but you got to work on them all the time.
What about the Duramax?
Duramaxes are pretty good. I don't really deal with too many like light duty trucks as far as like up to a 1 ton or a 3500.
Oh.
Everything's above that. So they're all the Kodiaks. And the Kodiaks, the interiors are very cheaply built. They're worse than a normal Tupperware Chevy. Like they're very, very cheaply put together.
The Kodiaks use the Isuzu diesels, right?
The 4500 and the 5500 use the regular Duramax that you would get in a 1 ton. Yeah.
The 6.6?
Yeah, and an Allison. Or sometimes a 7-speed.
Charlie, you're really sick right now, aren't you?
Yeah, between the Audi video that you guys saw and now I contracted the Black Plague.
So one of the things that I use the most when I'm getting tools out of his toolbox is the little snap-on toolbox at the back. It basically has everything you'd have in your household garage, but like, it's very convenient. I don't know. The big tools in here, they're mostly for heavy equipment and stuff. Every once in a while, I'll use stuff out of there. But for working on regular cars like our flip projects, this next toolbox is like where everything is at. Okay, so what's in this bad mamba jamba?
So this whole top up here is all sockets. Metric 6 points, metric 12 point. Then I have like Allen sockets and wobble drives and star bits. The only thing I don't like about this particular tool chest is that every time you hit a bump or drive over a cattle guard, everything in it gets mixed and rearranged. Aww. So like I can never keep it organized and it drives me nuts. Temperature crayons for welding and cutting. This next one is pretty self-explanatory. These are all my ratcheting open end wrenches. Screwdrivers and chisels and punches, and then a good set of crescent hammers. This is all pliers, and then these are wrench rolls that have metric and standard combination wrenches.
Oh.
In this drawer is all my really big combination wrenches for working on heavy equipment. My snap-on hammers.
What is that?
Stubby wrenches. This is an 8-sided.
Oh my god, that's huge.
That's what she said.
Damn it! I was supposed to have the innuendo, it's not you.
This is an 8-point socket for the Sterling axles and the big Rockwell axles that are in F450s and 550s for the hub nut on the rear axle.
My favorite part of his service truck though, hands down, is this.
This is my Arctic cooler. They're like a knockoff of a Yeti cooler. They're just as good as the Yeti, but they're like half the price, and you can order them online. And I'm not like endorsed by Arctic or anything, but they're awesome. You guys should check it out. In the dead of summer, ice will last like 3 days in this before I have to buy new ice.
Right?
This is for the lift gate. This is where you fill up the fresh oil tank on the truck. And this is a positive battery post in case I want to run my power probe off the back of the truck instead of having to go to a piece of equipment's battery.
So it has a lift gate on the back.
With a vise mounted to it, which is nice because you can use the lift gate to put the vise at whatever height you want. So if you're like drilling a hole in a thick piece of plate, you can put the vise down low so you can like put your weight on the drill bit. You're not always constantly up here.
Oh, cool. I'm gonna climb on. Going up. Whoa. So it's back here.
These reels, this one's grease. There's a big 55-gallon drum of grease, and then this one's a 1/2-inch airline and a 3/8 airline.
And then these hose reels are for
this one's fresh oil, so it's fresh onboard 15W40 diesel oil. And then this back one, which is this hose here, this one's the oil evac. So when I'm done draining something into the pan, it gets sucked out of the pan and put into a waste oil tank in the truck.
Oh, that's cool.
So you don't have oil sloshing
That's like
everywhere.
a built-in chief system.
Yeah, whatever that is.
Oh, it's military. Okay, never mind. Oh man.
So this side is stuff that I use, but not that often. A creeper, sledgehammers, a tire changing bars, and a spoonbill hammer.
Spoonbill.
These are trailer light testers, so you can plug a trailer into here, and then it has a battery on the inside, so you
cool.
can test taillights and all that stuff without having to hook it up to a truck.
It looks like a little ammo can.
Yeah, it is, I think. The rest of it's all filters for 750s, F550s, Duramaxes, backhoes, mini excavators, it's all in here.
This is kind of like your bench stock over here.
Widgets, you know, grease fittings, hose clamps, roll pins,
I like
machine
widgets.
screws, washers. It's my supply cabinet. These are all latches and strikers and keys and locks for Napa hide service bodies.
I'm gonna service your body.
Nice.
This is an O-ring making kit. If you guys have never seen these are pretty cool.
O-ring making?
Yeah, it comes with like O-ring stock, and then you cut it with a razor blade. With this, it cuts it at exactly 90 degrees, and then you like glue it together, and you made an O-ring.
That's really cool. I never knew that existed.
I've used these a ton. They actually work, believe it or not. I've never had one fail. Then this is oxygen acetylene reel. So I have quick connects on my torch. They just plug in there. And then this is the welder. This is a super, super old Lincoln. This is like a 1960s Lincoln. The welder, like they're a really smooth arc and stuff, but it's really friggin' huge for a 250 amp welder. This plug right here is 110 volts DC.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah,
what
so
would you use with that?
You can only run a universal motor. So like a chop saw, a grinder, a brushed drill, but anything that has any kind of electronics that needs AC, you can't run off of this or you'll let all the magic smoke out of it.
The magic smoke?
So, yeah, it's what makes electric things work.
Magic smoke?
Yeah, and once you let all the magic smoke out, you can't get it back in and it'll never work again.
I can't. All right, what's in the last
All right, this
box?
last one, it's just random junk in this one.
All right, here goes nothing. This is gonna be interesting. Just like a regular manual, pushing the clutch.
Yep.
Make sure it's in neutral, which it is. And the key's down here. Here it goes.
Okay, so go ahead and push it all the way to the floor.
All the way to the floor.
Hard.
It is.
Okay, now disengage your air brake.
Pull it.
Push it.
Push it.
Yep, bop it. Turn it.
I'm doing it.
Okay, now get it up to like 1500, and then when you let off the gas, pull it simultaneously.
I'm doing it. It's grinding a little, but
Now pull the switch up and go back to first gear.
oops. It's not as hard to drive as I thought it would be. In this situation now where I gotta back up a little bit so I can turn around properly. How do I back up?
Okay, push the clutch all the way to the carpet.
No, push the clutch all the way to the carpet.
Yep. Well, all the way as far as you can towards you
Yep.
and forward. And now you might have to let up on the clutch just a tiny bit to get the gear to go in. Now push it back in.
Go.
Now
All right.
push your emergency brake in.
All right, now back up. Just let out the clutch.
Just start easing it out.
Oh, this is easy. Roll coal. Hear the turbo keys. Or is this single turbo?
Yeah.
Okay, I can hear the basketball-sized turbo. It's kind of like driving a normal vehicle once you're just doing the driving part. Okay, so I want to stop up here.
Okay, so just push in the clutch and pull it out of gear.
I suck at this. Okay. Clutched. Charlie, why do I suck so bad?
Everybody does. They're not easy to drive.
Thank you, Charlie.
You're welcome.
Anyway, if you guys like this video, be sure to give me a thumbs up and comment below if you have any questions about the service truck, and I'll try to answer them for you. And I will see you guys soon in another video. Bye. So Sometimes when I film car reviews, I find myself standing on the side of the road by myself. It's really awkward. And there's a hill over there with pespis wasps.